In the crowd that's raging, a tall man soaking wet rushed too. People on both sides said to give way. Knight Taki is here. Knight Taki just came forward to speak. These guys. You just said you wanted to get us to safety. SAO. As the serious officer said, yes. You can get on the boat now. I can get food later. We'll start right away if you're full. The people may have been hungry for days. I heard two words food. Two bright eyes covering each other want to get on the boat. My mouth is screaming, what has food? I want to go too. Taurus afraid of people chaos, Chen encroachment, trampled on each other. Hurry up and calm the hungry people. There is plenty of room on the boat. Everyone, don't push each other. ABC looked at the crowd. He gritted his teeth in anger and tried to pull out his knife. The people are out of control. Knight Taki gripped his hands into fists. Order everyone to stand still. 11 people lined up on the boat. Didn't you hear this, master? There is plenty of room on the boat. The people stopped to listen. I see everyone has calmed down. When I say old people, children, women first. Everyone tells each other to obey Taki. Just like with a few words. Tall man, Kier. We've cracked down on such a large number of people. Esthetician, this person, is very vocal for the victims. Named Knight Taki SAO. Maybe you can show him the title. Get all the refugees on the boat. The rescue boat departed. Back to the Atlantic. It's spring in the Atlantic City. The warm soft sun against the blue sky. Swallows fly in flocks. At the wharf of the Atlantic, the boat has returned. All the victims were rescued. Just glad to cry. They ate probably the best cake of their lives. The boat slowly docked. Back to the peaceful, beautiful Atlantic City. Every building of this city. It's really beautiful, shimmering in the sun. The fisherman watched everyone turn to limestone and said, "You in the Atlantic City. People don't have to worry about no food. There is no place to stay, but at the cost of a certain amount of labor." The owner promised. As long as you work, the Atlantic will feed you. Wait until the flood is over. You want to go back to limestone. Absolutely not forbidden. But during this time, I hope you obey the law. Don't mess up. Otherwise, they will be punished without mercy. Taki spoke up to ensure the master's peace of mind. We'll make sure we don't cause trouble. All the victims agreed in joy. Yes, we absolutely will not cause trouble. The Atlantic became the master of nature. The owner is a good person. I see everyone so happy. As the great show boat docked said, so welcome to the Atlantic City. Everyone on the lifeboat has landed. Start to go into mixing. The boat of the wicked. The capital has also arrived. The barons put their bags down. Twist the swelling of the groaning bone. It's finally here. The blonde next door is also tired. Because a bunch of refugees wasted a lot of time. That's stupid. So many people came into the city. He's not afraid of those people either. They destroyed his city. If it causes violence, then our plan is hard to accept. Blonde stands up straight. Keep it safe at night. Hey, let's go see the wind. Tell him to trade ho-ra. The other one agreed. From behind to the overbearing voice. I am the ambassador for the great prince. But you have to let me use it. Same border crossing with the locals. Of course, the inferior country aristocracy. There are also bad words. That's a noble. A servant of the grand prince. He turned the ring on his hand. A fat noble stepped forward. Look at the magnificent city. This place is the Atlantic City. This place has a bit of a knack. This fat guy is the Viscount. The prince looked at the prince. People under the princes. Our eyes met with contempt. The river's edge began to rise. The king turned around. Every man in every direction enters the city. In the capital of the Atlantic, the fisherman completed his mission back. I'm here to report to the owner. Master Liu Feng. This time we brought 9,312 people back. It is currently arranged to go to the room that Miss Alley has already prepared. When he finished listening to the newspaper, distribute food to the location. Be careful not to cause violence. Out. Find someone with special skills to apply for more. He said yes for an hour and then left the library. At this time, Dejina has just come to call Master Liu Feng. When I came in front of you, I was standing there. Sincerely say, I'm so sorry. I'm late. In the library of the capital city of the Atlantic, I'm sorry for Dazina's behavior. Laugh, haha. Get up, Dejina. I have to thank you for helping me transport the refugees here. Come on, I don't need you to pay 7 cents. You didn't ask me for transportation. Okay. Dejina heard Liu Feng say that and gladly agreed. If I am the owner, I have already been told. Party Trade Association. There will definitely be no next time. Dejina lowered her voice again. That's right, become the owner. There's one more thing I need. I'm sorry. Save the wind for an hour. Dejina continues. Our restaurant in the royal capital is very popular. There's a lot of people targeting us. We haven't cut off their tails on the road. There were also 3 of the prince's guests. I hope you're careful. They all have bad intentions. As she spoke, she remembered the prince's subordinates. Follow your ship from the royal capital to the Atlantic City. After listening, understand everything. That's what Ra is. You don't have to worry about this time. I've been going to do something really big recently. That's why people come to the Atlantic City as much as possible. Listening to the wind without any worries. Dejina thought sadly in her heart. The Lord has a big problem to deal with. Still willing to help us. But if he does, there's someone who can help Catherine. The owner is still talking about his plan. At that point, I may need your help. Azina didn't seem to notice. Call out, Azina. Azina woke up from her thoughts for an hour. Look at Karina's distracted attitude. I am worried about asking why the psychopath is not quiet. As if untied in the lap of Dejina spoke. Master Liu Feng, I want to negotiate with you about this. Related to Catherine. The king is very ill, the 2 princes. And the 4 princes are quietly calculating. All 3 princes have their own interests. The forces in the capital stood up. Catherine's father was a duke. Because he relied on the great prince. She wanted to force Catherine to marry the grand prince. So he even locked Catherine up. Dejina's voice suddenly became determined to save his master. I'm willing not to take the money for this split. I want you to take Catherine out of the capital. She's married to the deceitful Prince Kier. Will not be happy. After listening to the story, that's what Ra is. In my head thinking, of course this time. Is there a responsible marriage? Next door, if something like this can help. Save the wind and comfort, and Dana. Don't worry. This is a sign too. I'll think of a way to get her off the throne. As for the money, you shouldn't say you need it, or you don't need it. Azina heard the wind guaranteed to be happy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Master Liu Feng. I also changed the CA poetry. Thank you. Outside the door, Ellie appeared to the bandit. There are 4 people outside. The prince's messenger wants to see you. That kind of extrovert's face gets excited. Come on. In the master's living room. The air in the room is quiet to stuffy. 4 who claim to be the prince's messengers. Sitting on the table. Silently think your own thoughts. The thin Viscount was made to wait until he spoke in frustration. Watch out, it's a religious practice in this remote place. Should teach again. The prince's messenger has been here for so long. And no one came to say hello. Fat messenger name. The 2 princes also spoke. There are only hypocrites. Just look down at those lies. Listen to the words that are sugarcane. The names of the 2 princes. The enraged messenger shouted at him. Look at the joke of the 2. The other 2 of the 4 princes laughed. The door opened, and I entered. Nicola introduced the messengers. Save the room. You're here. He looked at the messengers and said, Welcome to the Atlantic City. The Viscount Remix saw the wind coming. The face changed with contempt. Look out, they're very busy. Even the Emperor's messenger. Death doesn't he have time to meet? It was also the first time I see a man with the same courage as you. Listen to those nasty stock words. Calm down and sit down, that's right. The population of the Atlantic City is very large. Big things are small. Normal idle thing. I was waiting for time to deal with it. The Viscount replied casually. In my head thinking, dare to say we're idle. The noble Viscount. My husband seems to despise me. Also continued, I see that even though the walls of the high Atlantic City. But it can't be the knight's armor. He saw the displeased attitude of the messengers. Laughed and broke the tense atmosphere. Don't worry. The security of the Atlantic City is good. It's just that every now and then some rats come and mess up. If you're just here to talk. Or we're going to move on for as long as we want. This style is only about the real thing. Liu Feng's words smelled sarcasm. The name of the prince's servant. Listen to what the wind just said, coughing up a few miserable voices suppressing his anger. We don't want to go around anymore. I am afraid that the messenger of the great prince must come. The prince promised. Just save the wind, the secret attack waterflower for the great prince. Wait until after that day on the throne. I will give you promotions. At least a Viscount could have warned him. To hear the words of the Viscount. He was also in a hurry to argue. The people on the throne are 2 princes. The 2 princes said, you just need someone to contribute to the secret of water, waiting for that day to be king. Or at least the count. Listen to the promises of 2 great men. 2 princes. The 4 princes' men could no longer bear it. Stand up and speak loudly. 4 princes we can give the marquis. Listening to the words part lies 7 part, like bow of 4 loyal dogs in front of. Save the wind, you can't laugh out loud. The Baroness asked him what he was laughing at. He sat down in the landing chair. I see you're probably not awake yet. Or go back and rest. See the contempt of Liu Feng. The Viscount pounded the table in anger. You said we were dreaming. The 4 sisters also continued. Save Feng. You're not satisfied with the conditions I gave you. Don't worry, as long as you can bring out the magic of water. All conditions can be discussed. Not give up. The prince's servant also spoke. Right negotiation. Just make a price. We all can. Is to buy the water treatment method. Don't want to hear more. The cold voice replied, "That's all. If you have such intentions, look at the people who are waiting in front of you." He offered a price of 300,000 yuans. As lightning strikes across the air, make the people in front of you turn to stone. A stuttering man said, $300,000. Your brain is waterlogged. The wind is still smiling, regardless of the anger of the people in front of me. AI is 300,000 yuans. I followed the flower water method for that person. The Baroness glared at you like crazy. Basically, you don't want to sell. $30,000. Why don't you steal the national treasury? The room did not waver in reply to the messengers. Clear list price. Before that, you made me make a price. Now I'm out, and you say I don't want to sell. I'm an honest person. This award is always valid. If you think about it, send someone to let me know. When he finished, he stood up and left. Before going back to tell the black-faced people, "Say more. I see you don't have the ability to coordinate. Invite to Cho. Negotiate carefully with your employer. I am an owner and a trader. They said 300,000 yuans is 300,000 yuans. The Viscount Smith cheated. If you change your mind, you can come to me." The Prince of Wales also continued, "I advise you to wake up. See the situation clearly. They don't care about the words of the people." He pointed to the door and said no. 2 of the 4 princes. They are also threatening right now. The 4 princes will soon arrive in the west. Don't get too high. It's hard to avoid until then. The 4 messengers left after speaking. Lady Degina rushed to say, "What happened today? The 3 princes will surely know. I'm afraid they'll take revenge on the Atlantic." They don't worry about revenge. Even if the princes come from there, I'm sure I can handle them too. Save the Wind turned the next. Now it's your turn to help me, Azina asked in surprise. The sun has risen to the top. In the Chan's sun. On the streets of Atlantic City, people are busy. The shops opened one after another. The noise of the people. Azina is holding hands. Igina looks at the delicious food along the street. It's not like shouting, "Ooh, ooh, ooh. I just left for 3 months. There's so much good food in the Atlantic." Izina replied tongue. Behind the 2 ladies are 2 police officers. According to Tongue Tower, protection in playful settings. Azina found Igina didn't seem excited. He seemed in the mood to ask, "Why is Igina tired? Why don't we waste it?" "Come back," Izina sad eyes. He shook his head and said, "I am not tired. Just thinking about some things." Azina anxiously asked Han to look at her sad face. "What are you worried about?" "I always help the other spirits. Playing a god figure like that. But what it's like to change identity this time. The Lord enters the list to save you. Is it very touching?" Degina covered her mouth with a grin. Isina replied, "I am very grateful for the full water break. Not just save me, but also my whole family. He even arranged a job for me. The Lord is a good man. He is too good, so I can't cause him any more trouble." Azina grabs Igina's arm comforting. "If he can hold you back, I'm sure I won't bother you. Don't you think too much to feel comforted." Vina began to share her concerns. "I've been feeling a lot of bounty hunters lately. To the Atlantic City, it must have been aimed at me. I don't want to see the Atlantic in chaos because of me. At first, I accepted Master Liu's offer. Someone who wants to save his life. Master Liu Feng wants a team of 5 archers. Professional? I also fulfilled your wish. I'm also worried about humanity. Don't know them. Can adapt to life in the Atlantic City. Or not, Izina bowed and continued. Team 5 is working very well now. Continuously also very favorable. If it's because of me that we're going to the Atlantic, fall into a difficult situation, it's not someone else. Isina said here, her eyes were glistening softly. The lips are worried. I keep thinking about it. Only I left the Atlantic City. We can keep the safety of the Atlantic. Look directly in the eyes, Dejina said seriously. No need. You ran away. Isn't he busy in vain? Igina surprised by Dejina's reaction. Ask what is useless. The sound of a newspaper vendor's knife. I'm interrupting a conversation between 2 newspaper vendors. Would you like to buy a piece? Looking at the newspaper in the hands of the newsman, Azina laughed sinister said. I didn't tell you. You'll know tomorrow. Azina ran back to the place where you sold it. Tell me a sheet. Azina bought a newspaper and went for a walk with Isina. I look at the newspaper and wonder. Wow, this paper is so good. You can get the news very quickly. This advertisement. Don't know that? There's someone in the alley looking at Theo. You leave. 2 guys in the alley are bounty hunters. The woman is pink. You can't have too many guards with you. There's no way we can do it. The male hound answered. I don't know what's good about this spirit. Face worth 1,000 gold. Jiang Dap looks normal. So these people are the ones who are looking for Isina. The thinking hound continued. On a mission to capture life. I guess there's a secret to this Lin. I now see the owner of the Atlantic City. It took a lot of force to protect her. Maybe she used a secret. In exchange for this protection. Pink Mai excitedly says the secret is worth 100 gold. It's not a treasure. Treasure map Sao. The man turned out to talk about the treasure. Do you know there will be an auction tomorrow? Pink tomorrow crossed hands willing to waste words. The newspaper ad took up a whole sheet. It's now the Atlantic. Who doesn't know the auction? But what's the use of knowing? We don't have an invitation. People with money get an invitation. The hound laughed. Take out a letter from inside. Not sure if I said that. In another corner of the Atlantic City Street. The noble Viscount. I'm listening to my subordinates. When he heard it, he replied, the auction is a good opportunity to show up. In drugs upstairs, 2 of the 4 princes were sitting at the table. My ears are prickly. 2 people in the back are talking about the auction. One said, are you going to the auction tomorrow night? The Kier replied, of course. That's the first auction. Become the owner of that organization. Wait, those 2 just left. Blonde suspect asked again shampoo price. The black-haired guy just chewed a piece of food. Looking at the shadow, the 2 men answered. A place tattered like this, maybe there's something good to auction. The blonde agreed too. But let's go too. Let's see what they do. At the same time in the sand, Viscount Jackfruit appeared with 3 large pearls. Your boss is showing you. The largest pink pearl is now 14 millimeters in diameter. But it's not in our store. If you want, we can go to the auction tomorrow night. Viscount Remix surprised think auction. The Atlantic also has a tournament price, but if it is 14 millimeters pink pearl, definitely can't be ignored. Evening in the bright torchlight. In a hallway full of people coming. The air was buzzing with the sounds of gossip. Not too many people come to join the SAO price conference. Someone answered, "You idiot. The auction must have an invitation to enter. I wonder what people are doing here." The boy said confidently, "Of course, I came to see the owner. I heard that this master is very handsome. Your face is also good. Let the people of our country stay at home. Of course, I came to see you." A man speaks up to break the beautiful courtyard. "It's called Mr. 212. I can see you haven't read the book. People don't know anymore." Suddenly, there's a loud shout coming. A carriage just arrived. Everyone shouted, "Master is here. Get out of the car." In the shout is the master. Suddenly, he was startled by a loud voice. "Master, thank you." The wind is a little shy. Look at the people bowing. Mina said that. These young people are all victims. It's from the funny city. I might want to take this opportunity to be grateful. And I said, that's what Ra is. Turn around and look happy. Everybody get up. You don't have to do that. I assure you. As long as people don't commit crimes in Atlantic City, work very well, will forever receive the protection of the Atlantic. We. In the middle of the people cheering, the boss is so good. Master long live. 2 of the 4 princes. The face is not happy. The blonde name says, "Make chair set. This boastful man will one day get rid of him." The black prince is waiting for the 4 princes to come. There will be a time when he has to forgive. There's someone's voice. The master's guests are here. Everybody can come in now. The 2 men just walked towards the door. The receptionist at the door said, "Welcome, please submit your invitation." The yellow shirt came forward and drew out the invitation. "Tell the black-haired guy to go in the back." "Come on in." The black-haired guy hugged his head unhappily. "Rule of that. What does a baron want?" "I waited for him to come in or something." The invitation didn't get to the receptionist. I was stopped with another invitation. And with that comes the voice. "Heaven, this is not sexy and Coulson or SAO. You 2 came to see the excitement, but to participate in a small auction. You can't buy a good seat or 2 gold pieces. It's hard for everyone. Follow a fanciful dreamer. It doesn't give you any face." The military was surprised. The Viscount was horrified. The receptionist received 2 invitations and bowed her head gently. "Please come in." Jesse angry near along him. When he tried to do something, Khan Ra stopped him. "Don't wait to find the next opportunity." The noble Viscount was angered by the 2 Kier. Big laugh pleasure. As he walked, he looked around and commented on the decoration. What happened? He looked at the seat in the distance and said in surprise. Viscount missed. He's getting closer. This voice is sarcastic. Box Road. The Baron is afraid to sit in the back. The remix was equally surprising. When you see the appearance, he stood up and said, "Business." The Viscount of Meridian said directly, "Sitting so far away, I can't see the item later. Would you like to sit in the front with me?" Not waiting for the enemy to respond, he turned and said, "Oh my God. Look at my memory. I almost forgot. The Viscount's wealth was not plentiful. I can't sit in such a good position. It's been 7 holidays." The remix Viscount was so insulted. Anger can't speak. He only let out an hour. Looking at the back of the Lord Viscount, Smith hastened to explain, "Super little honor. In the end, I was just late." I can't buy a front seat. He was standing on the second floor. Looked down at the farce of the two laughing viscount. Ellie turned to look at Liu Feng and said, "Young master, our plan has been successful. Those nobles are very angry. The price will be a lot later." Save Feng massage head, satisfied compliment. Haha, it's all thanks to Ellie. Mina stood on one side with her eyes petrified in surprise. What's the plan? He looked down at the bottom. There's actually nothing you see. Guests into the hall. Two whisper. Your seat is the last row. That sound is amazing. Why am I in the back? Can someone please change places with me? You can pay. The fucking scold. I'm sitting further away than that guy. What kind of work do you do? Give me a location this far away. The air below is very noisy. Liu Feng continued. These so-called nobles are all dignitaries. These people are from the same place. They're very familiar with each other. Ellie's plan is seating of the auction house by area. It depends on the amount of money spent. Invisible middle. It's a competition between those people. The guy who lost this time. I will try to figure out how to get it back next time. Who won last time? They will also think of ways to continue winning. The auction price will also increase. A lot. Ellie was so well praised that mosquitoes have long raw. Mina looked at the competing nobles below. That's what raw is. Happy to say the next. Let's see how angry these nobles are. How much income can it bring to the Atlantic City? I hope the noble merchants of the royal capital don't have too much. And hot pot pepper. Into the Atlantic. It's where the auction is being held. Standing on the stage is Degina. The visitor has stabilized at the bottom. She said, "You're welcome to the Atlantic City auction for the first time. I'll be the auctioneer this time, Degina. Now, let's invite the first auction product." A long-haired noble in black, hot teacup holder, disdainfully say, what good can a small city have if you're not free? I don't want to come. The female auctioneer starts pushing her cart. Take the first auction product out. Danish Sina, excited to introduce Theo. Limited amount of water in the Atlantic. There are only 7 reviews per year, starting at 100 yuans. The price of water is over. The nobles below suddenly choked water. The blonde retainers of the 4 princes. Surprised to speak. Does that gentleman know how to hold an auction? The water of the Atlantic, he's worth it. The most expensive, the first product has already been launched. What else is in the back? Jessie yelled out loud and shut up. I can't see what the water is. Fine blonde wide open eyes watching stuttering. It's a glass bottle. It's a glass bottle. On the water podium, in a shiny gold glass bottle, under the fanciful shimmering light. The purple noble saw the water bottles. Excited to exclaim, use glass for water. The long-haired gentleman next to him replied, this is no ordinary glass bottle. I saw a good glass bottle. It's never been more beautiful. Even selling the bottle is expensive. The people below are talking. Shirt name continues. So this Atlantic City has some stuff. First person to bid 200 yuans. Viscount Remix bowed his head thinking said. This auction is going to be a big thing. The auction officially started. In the hall, there are only the voices of fierce bids. He called for 200 yuans without hesitation. I paid $20 and didn't lose face. 500 yuans. 600, I want this for sure. Another person spoke up. I'll pay 800, and no one will fight me. Azina looked at everyone and said, Number 29 price 800 and AI higher. I found the auction very exciting, and Ellie excitedly spoke out. 800 has stopped. Do you know how to look at the goods? I raw 900, Kelly said again. It's just a 100% loss of face. Get out. In the front row is Egina, next to Ellie. Lao Feng and Mina sitting together in a chair, hugging each other. Mina put her hand on her chest, leaning on her heart. Why today? The people of the capital know that the Atlantic City has good things. Come back later. They won't stop visiting young master. The auction for the Hoa water bottle stopped at 900. Dejina having fun talking. 900 yuans delivered congratulations to this guest. Now we invite the next product. The price is too low, Ellie shouted angrily. Look at the big ears. It doesn't increase a little. That's a bit of a yes. The people below are still talking loudly. He rubbed Mina's little cat's head in his lap. Ellie said you don't have to care about the team members. There's free time. I'd rather play with you. Mina shyly rubbed into the lap of exile. You say, young man. Then he changed his mind. But all of those people have been invited to the bag party. You can also go to school for a while. Mina was shocked to see the fast-changing environment. More than the waffle law. Mina said angrily, talking about this makes me angry. They dare to laugh at the young man. The young master invited them not to go. You must really want to fight them. Mina reacted too strongly. Ellie laughed. By then, I'm afraid there were a lot of requests. You also have to look at the young man's face. The young master comforted Mina. All right, people with limited vision like them. We don't need to care. When you look at this Egina, it's silent. Hurry up and say yes. Fong told her. You're not always worried. The reward caught the person giving on her. Why am I staying here today? Will invalidate that award. My Lao Fong said she was surprised to ask again invalidated. American Waste brings a big box of stuff. Inside there are many glass bottles. Tell save. Master Feng is ready. Look at all the glassware in the barrel. Is he no wonder? This is. Take out a letter and give it to Egina. When you're on stage 12, just read this. I remember the day before on the street. When walking together, Dazina used to say, I didn't tell you. I'll know tomorrow. Don't be too emotional until then. And I know that's what Ra is. Egina panicked and turned her hand down. You can't be saved. These glassware are too expensive. Bonus money. My eyes only cost 1,000 yuans. The exile rushed to reassure Egina, who was refusing. Egina, listen to me. The value of these items, as I see it, compared to your safety, it's not worth mentioning. Save the aesthetic in the head. The archers can't leave you. Then you go on. I was going to sell these things too. If you can just sell the money. You just traded your safety. It's a double-shot arrow. Listen to the words of Liu Feng. His seen-around eyes feel very touched. He pretended to size 7. If you don't want to, I'm useless. People also added to the advice Egina. Mina's right, Egina. Master has been working a lot these days. Ellie encouraged not to worry anymore. And even though these things are worth the money. But our city is not small.